What was your job exactly for the film Retour? How would you describe your tasks?
For Retour, I was the main editor. I was working with Dorothée during few weeks. I start alone during maybe 4 or 5 weeks just to watch all of the footage, make all the organization, put the notes, and only make the first assembly of the movie. And after that, we work all together with Dorothée during the rest of the time, more or less 8 or 10 weeks.
So, the raw footage of films is usually much longer than the final cut version we see on screen. Is it hard for you to choose what will be kept and what will be omitted? How does your decision making mechanism work?
Yes, this is the question of editing. All of the time, all over the process of editing, we have to make choice. A lot of time I make a comparison with like a wall, a white wall, and we start just to draw the line, and after that we put some color and more level and level. For this we have some criteria, and for me the first one is the acting. After that, we have technical specificity, but in a crew like the movie of Dorothée, everything was fine, and we have a lot of material. It should be 50 hours. We have to make the choice about those, but with Wildcat and Ruth, they are really great actors, and they really gave us a lot of options. This movie was a little bit specific because the story of the movie is the relation of between Ruth and Wildcat, and it's the evolution, because at the beginning of the movie they are a little bit not so friends, and they welcome that all of the time we work with this notion. At the beginning of the editing, I'm working alone, and then I make the first choice. During the process of editing, we can change some part for building this story and the relation and the evolution of the story.
What is for you the nicest part of being an editor, and what is the most challenging one? And can you mention if you confronted any challenges in editing Aller-Retour?
I think the challenge in editing is the story. It's to build a story. It's all over every piece of video stuff. Like if you have to edit a publicity or a reportage or a documentary, all of the time I'm looking for stories. And after that, for sure, editing means rhythm and cadence. It's not at the beginning of the process, it's more later. First, we have to build a story, we have to build a dramaturgy, and we have to make this story for people. We know that the reception of the story is not the same for everybody, but we have to make it for more people, and we have to work with the director, and the director has a lot of options about what he wants to say, what he wants to the people feel, and it's a question of feeling too. Editing a movie, it's a question of feeling, and with feeling we have duration, and it's all over. It's this kind of stuff. In Aller-Retour, I think the main line was to build the relation between Ruth and Wildcat, and his evolution, and it's why we make this movie.
How much creative input did you have, or how can you get the director to accept your ideas? Can you talk about the dynamics in the set between you, the director, and the producer?
The dynamic between me and Dorothée was experimented during few movies, and we know each other. But each time it's a new challenge, it's a new story, it's a new footage. She's really open, and we really work together, and we have a lot of discussion. Between the shoot, maybe we have one discussion about the script, but after that I'm not in the process of shooting. I only start after that. The process between the producer, the director, Dorothée, and me, was okay. But at the end of the 15 weeks, I have to start another movie, and then they have to keep going with someone. And there is a second editor. We make the end of the cut, and I think it was not easy, but it's okay. They finished the movie all together.
Which one of your previous projects do you consider your best work and why?
This question is a little bit difficult because I don't know for the other's editor, but for me, I think I fell in love with the process of editing. And at the end of the work, we are so in and interested, and we take so much time, and we are really in the story with all of the actors and the director. At the end of each movie, I'm really happy, and I really loved all of the process and the movie. If I have to choose one, I don't know. I don't really know because I try to work in different kind of movie. I know that I have a main line, but I try to change and to have a new challenge. And then, yeah, they are all. I cannot say one.
Editing is nowadays very popular with the emergence of social media and YouTube, and many people are doing this and are self-taught. What are your thoughts on this new generation of editors, and can you mention how your journey into this profession started?
I think it's normal. It's not so difficult to edit. It's which kind of movie you want to do. It's a question of when you are working on something really short, maybe it's easier than a long duration because you have to manage with time, and it's a little bit different, but it's easy to just to put one in and out and just to collect everything and put all the pieces together. But after that, it's not the same that to cut something really short for YouTube than something like a movie with a story, with intention, with a protagonist, with everything, and it's not the same. My journey on this job started early. I think so. I was in high school, and I already have an option in audiovisual. And after that, I go straight to second high school with l'Institut des Arts de Diffusion, and I choose this editing stuff.
As a very successful editor, would you like to work with any director in the future?
Yes, I would love to work with Kelly Richards and Zoe Zhao also, and I really like both of them, the movie they made. And for Zoe Zhao, I think she was the editor of her first movie, the song that my brother taught me. She was the editor, and I really like her editing.
What would be your first suggestions to a prospective film editor?
I think it's first watch movie for sure and go to the theater, because it's not the same on a screen than on a television. You don't have the same emotion. But I think to be an editor, you have to be passionate, and you have to have a lot of sense of synthèse, and you should like all of the story, and be humble to get in the mind and in the head of something one, and create a relation of confiance, and like that you can be creator.
You have been working with various successful directors in many films since 1989, and you really have an inspiring career. From The Man Who Sold His Skin to Clara Zola and nearly all the works of the Dardenne brothers. And you have also worked with Dorothée Vandenberghe and Ruth Beckmans before in Rosie and Musa. Can you tell us how you make your choices to build such a strong career?
I think that the first creator is the story, and the story of people. And for me, the most interesting is about the human living and all the society. I think I like to be close to the people, and I like that intimate story of people can give an universal story, like we make a movie in Belgium, but we can share it with people living in China or in Japan or in US. It's really, when the story is close to the people, it's, for me, it's the main creator. The first choice I made at the beginning of my career was about this kind of movie, and then for sure I can try to mix and work in other style, but the people watch the movie where I was the editor, and it's why they want to work with me. I have option for sure, but the people know on which movie I have already worked, and it's for that.
And you can also mention Rosie and Moussa. How did you decide to get into it?
I like it because it was a movie for children, and it was my first one, and I really liked the way that it was like naive and like close to young people, and I really like the story between the two. It's a question of relation too, but a relation with two children, and two children coming from two different culture, and it was really a nice way. And before that, I was working with Dorothée on My Queen Carol, and it was too a story about the children living in a special family. And Dorothée, it's all the time, is really close to the people, and she wants to tell a specific story for them. And it blows my mind.